Hello and welcome to the Hick and the Hop.
Welcome to We Are Live. How are you, everybody?
Oh,
How are you, Trev?
I am feeling vibracious this morning.
That's not a word.
And we're off.
If you want to have anonymous thoughts, we've got the text line up and running. It's 314-669-1431. You can send us your thoughts on Travis's vocabulary. Let's see how good I can be about following this today. It's March 13th, 2019.
Time check, 8:01 a.m.
Those are the days. Calling the time and temperature. You ever do that?
It is 47 degrees outside with a small chance of rain. I have no sources to confirm any of that.
You don't even check your weather app, I'm sure.
I do not.
Today on the program, we've got Dr. Ed Minyeko in from Hillside Animal Hospital. Very excited to have him in. We'll do some dogs on film. I still have to get used to Sean, our star voice actor for dogs on film. He's in our studio, and there'll be like a little on the door, and then he'll poke his little head around the corner.
Hey, guys. Hey.
So I like being around.
I can't feel my left leg. Anyway, going in your studio, I'm going to go record.
That's right, and I like
How's
hearing
that
the
Sean
magic
impersonation,
happen.
by the way?
It's something. We'll have Dr. Ed in the second part of the show. First part, we've got a lot of interesting stuff to get to, but first, let's say hello to Chris Gardner. Hello.
Gardner, where are you today? There he is.
Right here.
Oh, you went back.
Hey.
Right here.
What made you go back?
Well, because if I'm on the left side of the screen and we have people in,
Oh, you can't adjust mid-show?
Well, it's going to be difficult to do so.
Understood. I love
There's
laughing
a
at you, but I
process.
stay a million miles away from the video editing software, so I don't really have that much room to come after you.
I will say, good morning, gentlemen.
Oh, here we go.
Travis, what's that thing? That thing that President Trump's trying to build on the southern border. What's that?
A wall.
Walnuts.
Got me. That was good.
Walnuts jokes. What do you think?
It's becoming a thing. It's happening.
Forget these nuts. It's walnuts.
Do you think we'll sell any Walnuts T-shirts with By Jack helping us?
When we get that Reginald Vell, what was that?
I think it's Reginald Walnut.
Is that Reginald Vell Walnut
Yes.
logo? Yeah.
That's going to be the logo.
Reginald
Well, why
Walnut.
not? I get the feeling it's going to look like Cleveland Brown, but
Yes.
with the walnut.
Basically, that's kind of the look I was going for.
Okay, good. At
Again-
least the way you're thinking about it is the way I think it's going to end up.
Yeah.
Just so we're all aware, I'm back to looking at my shoes when people ask
Oh,
what I
we
do.
assumed.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we figured as much.
Yeah.
All right, I'm glad we covered that. Today on the show, you can win $10 to Southtown Pub.
And Chris, how can they win $10 to Southtown Pub?
You send us an email based on the fair or foul topic, leaving hair stubble in the sink after shaving or trimming.
I am triggered.
WAL at weareliveradio.com. What's this inspired by, Gardner? Sounds familiar. There's somebody in the room. I lived in a residence once, and this was a thing.
Well, it's the man sitting at the table with you.
Oh, what happened?
The other day,
So we have 3 bathrooms in these offices, by the way. 2 include showers.
CT comes in for the show. I think it was Monday.
Okay.
He's got his trimmer with him.
All right.
It's like trimmer, beard trimmer.
Yeah, and I hear it going but there's a bathroom right here in the studio.
Hey,
yeah.
it's great.
Midcoast Media Studios.
Guests always have to shower after discussing
It's
anything.
the
with us.
shower.
Don't blame
That
him.
bathroom houses the shower that Travis used in the Planet Wall promo
Oh, it was a
featuring
popular
him.
video.
Still cinnamon bun rolls sitting in the toilet
Yeah,
right now.
not good.
So, no.
But I hear it going, and I'm like, "What are you doing in there?" He's like, "I'm lining my ass up." I'm like, "What?"
That's verbatim. That's good.
Yeah.
It's like it recorded our conversation.
And it took me a second to figure out what that meant for a moment, and then I'm like, "Oh, okay, like, whatever." So I use the bathroom later, and I go to wash my hands,
oh boy.
And I looked.
Gardner, when he washes his hands, it's very Rain Man-esque.
It's
Yeah,
intense.
there's
a
a process.
process.
It really
Yes.
is. It's a thing.
Well, you don't have a process for washing your hands,
I
or for
wash
drying your body off.
I wash my hands and dry my body.
You don't
like-
make sure every single follicle of your body hair is straight before you put on your clothes.
That is absolutely uncalled for.
Okay, maybe that's just me.
It is.
You know what's you?
Uh-oh.
Leaving hair stubble in
boy.
the sink.
Oh, dear God.
Because as I'm washing my hands,
We
I'm
keep
looking
this place
down.
pretty clean, too.
Jesus. Oh, my.
We do all right.
Yeah.
we
We're-
pick up at
we're-
least.
we're
It's
men.
cleaned a few times a week. It
Yeah.
stays habitable.
There we go. That's a good one.
We go through a lot of coffee cups. We go through a lot of coffee
Yeah,
cups.
we're freaks
Fair.
about that.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at the stubble, so I'm starting to splash water on there, and I'm like, "What the? You left hair in the sink, Travis?"
Yeah, that sounds like.
Oh man, you sound like my mother. Well, how about this?
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Oh, yeah, that definitely sounded like Mama right there.
Do you feel good
To
about
quote-
this interaction?
What were you thinking, Travis?
I was.
That's your problem. You weren't thinking.
That's
No,
right.
I'm sorry.
That's my
That's
mama
good.
talking.
That's sorry.
Travametrius?
There's no need to add the Metrius.
Travametrius.
My mama named me Travis, so you wouldn't have to add Metrius. What the hell is wrong with you? I do apologize, Gardner, though, for that. Sometimes sexy comes at a cost.
It seems like it's a trend for you, most likely.
Now, I do drink
a
quite a
habit.
bit of
I
coffee.
think if you were to speak to the last 3 ex-girlfriends,
yeah, I would say.
they would absolutely agree.
Who's the biggest proprietor of crumb leavage in the Mid Coast studios?
You're not putting crumb. You're not doing that to me, pal. You are not going to do
brings-
that to me.
who
Not
brings
here,
up-
not ever.
Who brings a full
Hold on
bag
now.
of fried
Hold on,
and
man.
or sandwiched material in
Hold on.
daily? Sets up like it's a Saturday afternoon watching college football spread.
First off, when I do bring that food in, the entire office got to stop. What's that, cuz? Can
man.
I get some of that? Let me get a fry. So y'all don't have a problem picking off my plate whenever you want to.
Wow.
Y'all ain't got no. Oh, Travis brings in the fried food, but I sure wouldn't mind having a piece. Secondly, those crumbs aren't all mine. You have no
Okay.
proof or evidence. You have no.
There's a receipt signed by you next to each pile.
Y'all be bringing in pizza and shit.
I've never. This is amazing. This is really good.
So y'all don't be saying nothing. Them little cute, adorable oranges that's in the kitchen right now. They just been laying around for the
In a
last 2
bag?
weeks. Ain't nobody said nothing about that. Y'all be bringing in your little coffee. Who leaves the coffee grounds all over the place? Oh, since we're getting all personal, now we're going to do this. Camera 3, Gardner. Who leaving coffee grounds all over the damn kitchen?
you're
It
drinking
ain't my
coffee.
black ass.
You're drinking coffee.
Everybody knows it's liquor in here, baby. I'll sit up here and blow up my spot. Got coffee grounds looking like little baby ants all over the damn kitchen floor. We're going to sit up here and talk about my fried chicken crumbs. I'm sorry, I like crispy chicken. Sometimes the crumbs have a mind of their own.
Comments from the Facebook feed. Jamie Moyer's Fancy Foyer. Gardner's embracing the possum cam and wearing possum skin today.
I've noticed that.
What's going on with you today?
Ooh, look at him.
My.
Close up.
You get.
Come on now. Get off that.
Get out the point. Get now. Get. Hey,
I'm gonna let the dog out.
Get.
And then whenever you're deceased, I'm gonna put you in a box and put it on somebody's front porch.
That's a fine segue, my friend. Why would a possum,
What did it say on the
what
rundown?
animal would be put inside of a box and left for dead in front of someone's home, Chris?
Gardner, what's it say on the rundown?
For what we have going on.
Oh, we need to talk about this with Dr. Ed, don't we?
Yeah.
Let's save it. We've got a story.
You're gonna save the dead animal story for Dr. Ed?
Yeah, maybe he could revive it.
Well, that'll be some Frankenstein. Okay.
Oh man, now you just
Okay.
made me think. I just
Yeah.
saw a trailer for the new Pet Cemetery,
Nice.
and I'm watching it on the couch.
Did that freak you out when you were a kid?
Oh, I cannot watch that movie again.
That's
That
troubling.
kid is a freak.
Yes.
But I'm on the couch with Jess, and that comes on, and it's done, and I go, nope, and she just goes, yep, and I'm like, no, I don't want to go. She's like, you're gonna go see it, and I'm like, you know how I feel about. We've had this discussion, like when that kid in that original one like slices the old man's mouth from like ear to ear. I'm like, no. It gets him with the Achilles, I think, too.
Yeah,
I'm like, no. That is so uncomfortable.
So how in the hell are you uncomfortable watching Pet Cemetery but have no problem walking into a home that was once a place of 14 murders by a famous serial killer?
That's true. I would think you would embrace.
I feel like you would.
Your
just
information is incorrect.
No, that's okay.
Your information is incorrect.
So the guy that goes on cemetery tours and tries to go around major cities looking at places where serial killers have made their mark.
Okay, that's more accurate.
Okay.
The thing is, it's not a home anymore. It's a post office. So you were inaccurate in your statement.
So
Mark Garrigus would pick you apart, buddy.
seeking out dead bodies, cool. Pet Cemetery.
I'm not looking for dead bodies.
Okay.
I'm just looking for landmarks where things occurred.
Okay. But
History.
you have no problem going on cemetery tours. It's the pet part that throws it off.
No, it's the damn kid slicing a guy's mouth
Man,
open.
that happen every day, dog. This St. Louis. What you talking about?
The black sheep sending in a photo of a repeat crumb offender, and from his office's break room, he has taped off the area and then put little post-it like pointers by each crumb left behind by the offender. Do you want this to start happening?
I wish I would. I wish I would start setting up a crime scene in the kitchen. Off people bet. Let's bet. It's on now. All right, because I know some friends at the St. Louis Police Department. I'm going to get those little
You get the
numbers.
real tape?
Yeah, I'm going to get the numbers they put next to the bullet casings, and I'm going to start leaving that crap around this whole entire studio. Bet. Y'all done started a war that y'all can't finish. Y'all didn't know I knew people inside the law. That's how I know what to break. You got to have somebody on the inside. So that way, I can never get caught. Should have thought about that rich white women who are actresses in Hollywood. See?
What are you talking about there? What do you got? There was breaking news yesterday,
Oh,
and
boy.
I'm enjoying the Twitter part of this, and I get it. We have to take everything serious. Everything's the worst thing that's ever happened. But
I like how you were nonchalant by saying we got to take everything serious.
Yeah, you do. But it's such a preposterous, ridiculous story. Gardner, you've read through the materials. I know there's some high-profile names involved, so that makes it more interesting. Can we at least say this again? I get fraud is bad, right? Okay, let's get that out of the way.
Okay.
Did we get a little bit of a chuckle about the dead serious? Was the FBI or whoever was holding the press conference yesterday? Just ultra serious, like, we got him, boys. I'm back, and here's what happened. And he just went through, and he was. I got a little bit of a kick out of that. I don't know. Looked like it was something out of a movie, and I was like, okay, I get it. This is a big, congrats on this happening. But I had trouble not. I just wasn't that surprised that this thing was happening.
It's funny
Yeah.
to us.
Right.
Probably not to
Didn't affect us.
the people that are. I mean, they'll go to jail.
Yeah.
You think?
Yeah. That's serious felony bribery charges. Like that. Like the FBI doesn't like you don't.
So we haven't even said what's happening yet.
I mean,
The
there's
FBI
there's already people going. I mean, that have pleaded yesterday.
And they're already some people haven't whatever you say it surrendered themselves because they're negotiating.
I
deals
believe,
already.
as you're alluding to, Felicity Huffman and Lori Loughlin are involved in this.
Correction. What is her name?
Lori Loughlin,
Yes.
Felicity Huffman.
Felicity Huffman and
Aunt Becky.
thank you.
She has
So-
a name, Travis.
Felicity Huffman, Lori Loughlin indicted in a case alleging bribery to get kids into college. From USA Today, this involved some scamming in regards to
Test scores,
payoffs,
basically, like
test
either
scores, athletic lying.
yeah, fake scholarship possibilities through the athletic departments. What else was there? Oh, adjusting SAT scores,
50
faking
people.
SAT scores, having people take SAT scores.
Right.
I do have a clip actually from.
Oh,
the
really?
FBI,
50
yeah.
people have been charged in the largest ever college admissions conspiracy prosecuted by the Justice Department.
Give me a second here. And I'll,
Federal
get you-
prosecutors charged 33 affluent parents, including CEOs and actor Lori Loughlin, 9 college athletics coaches, and others in a sweeping bribery case to enter elite universities and colleges. Elaborate conspiracy involved cheating on the SAT, ACT, and parents paying coaches enormous sums to get their children into schools by fabricating their athletic credentials. Laughlin's expected to appear in court Wednesday. After that, legal proceedings will move to Boston. Spokesman for the U.S. Attorney's Office tells USA Today Huffman was one of about a dozen people taken into custody on Tuesday.
So here you go. Here's the FBI folks and U.S. Attorney talking yesterday in Boston.
Operation Varsity Blues culminated early this morning when approximately 300 special agents from the FBI and the IRS criminal investigations set out to arrest 46 individuals across the country for their roles in an international college admissions bribery and money laundering scam.
These parents are a catalog of wealth and privilege. They include, for example, CEOs of private and public companies, successful securities and real estate investors, 2 well-known actresses, a famous fashion designer, and the co-chairman of a global law firm. Based on the charges unsealed today, all of them knowingly conspired with Singer and others to help their children either cheat on the SAT or ACT and or buy their children's admission to elite schools through fraud. Singer's clients paid him anywhere between $100,000 and $6.5 million.
Good
for
God.
this service, though the majority paid between $250,000 and $400,000.
How bad was this? How bad was the
We're
kid
not
that
talking about
you had to pay
donating a
$6.5
building
for?
so that a school's more likely to take your son or daughter. We're talking about deception and fraud, fake test scores, fake athletic credentials, fake photographs, bribed college officials.
Now, I did read in the story that some of the Alpha David that was released, and it read that
it's the most dominant David.
Oh, no doubt about it.
Okay.
That's why it's called Alpha David, my friend.
Okay.
Why it's important.
You can't top that document.
No, you cannot. It read that one of the kids, I don't know if it was Felicity Huffman's son, he essentially went on Amazon, purchased water polo gear, and they set up a photo shoot where it looked like he was in an action shot, and they posted that to make it appear as if he was a big-time recruit that would be going to Stanford. So they went through the entire fraud of trying to sell this idea where they said there were fake photos and fake credentials. They were, man, this was a fraud. They dug deep for this, man.
Were these kids just dumb? Like what? Send them like. You could avoid that. Your son could be a welder.
I
He'll
think
be making
It
money
made me begin to question how I got into Lindenwood.
Yeah.
Because if you recall,
Dad was doing those powerlifting competitions.
I had a tennis scholarship there when I initially went to Lindenwood,
Yeah, see,
but I
that's-
never played on the tennis team in high school. I'm thinking my grandma might have paid my way into Lindenwood.
Grandma Evans pulling out that Bob
Yeah.
Evans money.
I'm going to have
Showed
to.
off that Bob Evans money. You want some of this, Bob? You want
I'm
some of this
gonna ask-
biscuit money, baby?
I'm going to ask Grandma, did you pay for me to get
Oh,
into
baby,
Lindenwood?
let's not talk about the
And
past.
then she'll go, for Christ's sake, Christopher, you think I would have paid for you to go to Lindenwood? I would have paid for you to go to a different school if I'm going to do it.
That's very true.
Man.
And that would be true.
So how do we feel about? So William H. Macy is married to Felicity. What's her last name? Huffman. So how are you guys feeling about this today? I mean, is it good they got like? I just feel like there's so much scandal in college and all that stuff anyway that it just doesn't. I'm not saying they shouldn't be punished by any means, but I don't know. It's just not registering for me as like, I don't know.
I think it's hard. It's probably hard.
Does that say
here's
I'm
what
bad?
it is, too.
Yeah.
It's probably hard for us to relate to this.
I actually relate
Right,
to this
right.
situation.
How-
In that
I would
How-
just assume things like this happen.
My family was never going to pay for me to go to school.
No, you're right. And the same goes for mine.
I mean, to pay to get into the school.
Right. And yeah, certainly in that regard, yeah, we can't certainly relate. I think though, there's always been this push that, there's meritocracy where, you work hard, you do what you're supposed to do,
Oh,
And you get it.
meritocracy. I see you got your Twitter talking points down today.
Oh, you damn Skippy, my friend. So the idea that, it's always been pushed, especially by elites, that, certain groups of people are undeserving and that my child, because of who I am, should get pushed to the front of the line. At the same time,
This is
those
not the
same
story that
people-
necessarily highlights it for me, though. I just look at who's the president of the United States.
Well, that's another grand example as well.
That's the one.
But I think I think to a lot of us, we weren't necessarily surprised. We know that this system has always been set up in this regard for people to be able to find a way to finagle their child into an elite university, even if they're too mediocre to actually attend it.
Yeah.
And so we're not shocked by that aspect of it.
I think it's a big
we're
story
shocked
because
that
there's movie stars involved.
well, that certainly helps
Yes.
the story along, but I think
Absolutely.
But it is troubling to see. Like, I think someone made the point, and actually, this is probably my favorite tweet from the entire fiasco yesterday. How mediocre are you if you have to cheat a system that already disproportionately advantages you? So, like, how dumb or whack does your child have to be for
It
you to
is.
spend up to $250,000 for them to go USC?
Or
First of
more.
all, almost every Hollywood family sends their child to USC. You just get in because of who your family is. That's just so how whack or terrible your child has to be for you not to even get in when your parents are Felicity Huffman and William H. Macy.
But the thing to me is curious is, and they pointed it out, I believe it was the U.S. attorney who mentioned it in the clip we listened to. Like this, he's like, this is not paying money to build a building on campus. This is fraud. This is bribery.
Right,
And
right.
it is.
Yeah.
That's
that
the
makes
problem.
sense.
Right.
Yeah.
So why not just pay money to build?
But that was the question. That was what people were asking. Like, there were other methods you could have used to disguise your scam. Why not just use the traditional methods? Why are you going to those lengths? So again, it comes back to, who are you really trying to prove? Who are you
And
proving?
it's not like the FBI sought out this scandal.
Right.
I listened to some of what they said yesterday, and the FBI agent in charge from the Boston office said, we were working on something else, like another operation, and this popped up while we were working on a different operation.
That's crazy.
And so
that wasn't even their target. They were just doing another job.
Something else.
And they were like, hey, what's that over there?
now I did see a couple reactions like, what if like the college basketball, what's going on with that scandal? What if that led to this?
Oh, that's
the
very
one I
possible.
liked was like, wouldn't it be hilarious if the Mueller report was the one that led to this one? Just somehow, like you're like, because now you are wondering, well, what were you working on that led to this?
Very good
like,
question.
Like to kind of know that,
Which
a
raised the
little bit.
question to a lot of people on Twitter. A lot of people were wondering, wow, if this is one of the methods that very rich, wealthy elitists can use to benefit themselves, what other scams are out there that we don't know about?
Million.
So there are tons of scams that we
Criminals
will
adjust, criminals adapt.
Absolutely. So it's a fascinating story in that, again,
Building a wall won't change that, Travis.
Like that damn criminal who illegally took a photo of Conor McGregor.
Oh,
here we go.
Think about that.
effing jerk.
Yeah.
But to that point, I think there was a story, I believe, from the Washington Post. Surprise, surprise. They reprinted or reposted their story about Jared Kushner's connections to Harvard and how the story was that his father paid some money to perhaps squeeze him into Harvard.
If
when
anything,
he
I
wasn't
think this-
qualified to be there.
I think this highlights our insanity for the overvaluing of college degrees.
Completely.
Like,
Or
this
the
is-
lionization of certain institutions. Like,
you're
if you
telling
graduate
me-
from Harvard, you're this big time,
Like, listen,
smartest person. And
mean,
some people are, but there are
I
people
get
who
it.
also.
There's organizations and stuff, but all these kids that had this stuff to go to USC or wherever it was, you're telling me they couldn't make it going to.
Right.
There are so many great colleges in Southern
Right.
California alone.
Yeah.
But it
Even you go
does.
to UC Irvine. Like,
That-
come on.
That name, that degree sets you up in the circles they run in.
Yep.
Sure.
That's the thing is it's a different circle
Well,
of
then
people.
make
Exactly.
sure your kids then get okay if you want
Hit
to.
him with
Oh,
it,
yeah,
Chris.
yeah.
Hit him with it, Chris.
Work hard
Yeah.
and make
There it
sure you're
is.
doing that. Don't let them play
Let's-
Fortnite.
but-
Hey, if you can afford to bribe somebody, pay a college professor to follow your kid around for 5 years, and that's how you do it. Because, that's crazy.
Let's
I mean, we all make
localize this.
mistakes, but it's just stupid.
Let's try and do an expose, Travis, you and
Okay.
I. Because tell me this isn't going on in St. Louis.
Do you have any idea what Travis's aunt did to get him into Sanford Brown?
Yeah.
You talk about
What'd
chicken
she do?
crumbs. You talk about chicken crumbs. Oh boy.
Think about some of the private schools in St. Louis and how
High school.
I mean, yeah, the high
Elementary
schools.
school.
Yeah.
I mean, the running joke, constant running joke for years, for generations now, is the high school thing in St. Louis. I mean, this is why it's stuff like this,
Yeah.
because you judge people
Yeah.
based
On
where they went, you come up with prejudices, you come up with stereotypes based on all of that, and people in this area will say, "Oh, you went to I've told the story before where I go to the coffee shop, and I'm wearing a CBC alumni shirt that I got at their golf tournament, doing a radio show out there,
right.
and a lady's in front of me, and she needs to go to the fridge to grab something out of it, and she steps back and looks at my shirt, and she goes, "Oh, CBC, good for you." I guarantee you, if I'm wearing my Fort Zumwalt North alumni shirt, where I actually went to school, not a freebie,
Yeah.
she doesn't say a effing word.
No, you're very right. And that's the point. And I think that's
Or
the
she
thing.
says, "Oh, Fort Zumwalt North, bless your heart."
Bless your heart. Oh,
That's
or
why
public school lunches.
Yeah.
How you enjoy that, baby?
We know, like, I guess we
Square
can.
pizzas must be nice.
We can relate in a way because we know how the area here works.
Well, and
how
and
parochial
again,
St. Louis is.
Absolutely.
For being a local and somebody who's lived in the city for whatever, 7 years.
Yeah,
or
you're
something,
here.
I've lived here.
You're here.
But I didn't grow up here, and it's a different. I grew up an hour south. It's a different world,
Right.
And seeing
But you've
that-
observed it now,
Oh,
and you can
no, that's
see
what
it.
I'm
Yeah.
saying because I can see it.
Your
and it's-
perspective is good.
Oh my gosh, it's amazing, and it used to crack me up too, even just athletics, because you play AAU all in the off season. I'd play up here all the time, and I have family up here, and I knew the lay of the land. And for example, you'd go play basketball, and thankfully we were good, right? So that helps too, because you can be a little cockier. But we'd go play basketball in Jeffco at like Arnold at Fox, and they're like talking smack. And I'm like, "Bitch, you go to Arnold, man. You're from Fox High School. Please, people in Oakville make fun of you. Like, what are you talking about?
and
Get out of
and
here."
that's the thing with the USC connection, certainly, and
Which is not fair. It's so stupid.
But and if you want to, and again, get into the industry, USC has been the gatekeeper for a long time. We talked about it the other day. We got guys like Ryan Coogler, and who, again, that becomes a pipeline. So you understand why it's important to get into these institutions. And it's frustrating because, from my perspective, you talk about how can you increase minority participation at these elite universities. And it's frustrating to see these stories because whether we know it or not, there were very
Well, not
qualified...
the minority of dumb people.
Oh, there is very
I-
true.
can
So
I
yeah,
state-
how are they supposed to go to
But
smart
there- but-
schools, Travis?
Can I
But there
state
is
another point?
there's a large group of people who probably deserve to be at Harvard, Stanford, USC,
Do you know
who
how
are
many-
not there now because their parents did not cut a check or bribe individuals at institutions for their child. And in this case of Felicity Huffman's daughter, she did not want to be there. She literally has a image, like a fitness page, where she got paid by, I think, YouTube to put up these videos, those weird YouTube videos or tutorials. And so she was even getting paid technically as a athlete for USC, which is an entire
Oh,
different
yeah.
thing.
Yeah, remember
So-
the punter couldn't have his YouTube.
Exactly. So people are like, wait, you guys...
Remember, USC's where Paige Laurie was.
Right. And that's an entirely different animal for those who are not familiar.
Man, it's a
Paige
good thing.
Laurie,
Good thing we're not doing a college version of Great American Race Against Gardner. He'd crush us.
Yeah, he really
as,
was.
as a fan of Mizzou and a fan of KU.
And that's a whole nother local attachment to this story. Paige Laurie and her connections to the state of Missouri, the University
that
of
was-
Missouri,
woof,
an entire
that was
basketball
brutal.
arena. That's an entire story
So,
for another episode.
I still
but-
call it the Page. I
Yes.
will not ever stop.
I call
calling
it
fair,
I
but-
call Mizzou's basically what happens every year, the curse of Paige.
It very much
Yeah.
is.
That's
If
fair.
I can make another sensible yokel take
I
on
like
this as well.
He's been waiting.
No, this is so funny to me because don't get me wrong, I get it. Will Ferrell went to USC. The great Alexis Zotos from yesterday went to USC. Same difference. Will Ferrell, Alexis Zotos. No, I get it. I truly get it. But here's the thing that's even funnier. If you truly wanted someone to excel in Hollywood or wherever, right? You can go to USC. Your kid's going to party, maybe make it through. Probably won't get into the film school right? Like that's the percentages say that.
I mean, if you wrote a check for $250,000 to get your kid into USC, what's another 50 to 75 grand to get your child into the film school?
But the reality is, like, listen, people can change things, whatever. But here's the reality. This is where dumb old sensible me comes in. But it had your kid, if they truly wanted to take a Hollywood route, went and just took an hourly job working, and you pulled in a connection at one of the TV shows or one of the networks, and you get coffee for 5 years for people, I guarantee you they would be ahead of, depending on what they want to do, that's how you move up. Like, you don't have to go to college to do that. If you're out in LA and you have rich ass parents that can afford or get you an apartment, go work for a studio. Go work for something. That is the way that you succeed, and that's what cracks me up.
But it wasn't a matter of
they could, but that wasn't their end goal.
Right.
They wanted the piece of paper to say this, and it was a status thing.
Right. And
but that's why it's
and
funny.
they didn't want, and I think these parents, what's going to become very clear as we go through this investigation, they had no faith in their children. They basically decided, my child isn't even close.
Is it that,
my child
or
isn't
is it
even,
they just wanted to cement their ego?
That's also that. I'm sure that's a part of it as well. And that's the fascinating thing. That's how it probably shows you how competitive it is for even Hollywood elites to get into a school like USC, because again, a lot of these schools are taking in a lot of these students because of their name. So it's weird to me to see Felicity Huffman and William H. Macy, their name still wasn't strong enough to get their kid into USC, so they still had to pay.
Do you know how many Asian kids were displaced because of these little rats getting in?
I will say I am mildly annoyed. But the reason why I am mildly annoyed, because, and again,
because people are outraged and you're joining in the fight?
No, because oftentimes, and this is on a serious note, when you are the black or brown kid that goes to a predominantly white institution, like I did, I went to the University of Missouri, a lot of people presume and have made the case, and then a lot of those people made the case that the only people who were at Mizzou because you had a minority scholarship.
I hate that for you.
You had a diversity scholarship. The only reason why you're there is because of your skin color. So people would make that argument very prominently when you go to these institutions. So it's
on the record, F those people.
Oh, no doubt about it. I'm not saying I'm going to give them a platform. I'm saying essentially.
But you've observed it and you felt it.
And I felt it. And it's insulting because you're like, wow, I really worked really hard to get to this point.
Bullshit. Yeah.
And so then you see those folks who say that, who are paying six figures to get into the institution that you worked your ass off to get into. So it to that point, it did ruffle my feathers. And it's not a direct harm to public safety.
Those are the type of people that, I'm going to stereotype. And
go for it, yeah.
They go on to have decent jobs and probably successful jobs. But if I knew them and I needed the service of the industry they were in,
the true
I would
service.
never use them.
Right.
Because I would know them.
Right.
And I would know that you would not be capable.
Why?
And these people often go on, Chris, especially at USC, they go on to become some of the bigger gatekeepers in the industry.
This is where we would scream at each other and then realize that we're saying the same thing. Because these are the remote and not remote.
10 minutes of a show. Go on, do it.
It's like, hey, you want to throw a pork chop between two pit bulls. It's basically Gardner's job.
You do this a lot, Travis, in adjusting your seat, and then Chris does this while you're doing it.
It's going to mess with his bangs.
I got it tucked right today or something. Could work a couple ways there.
Now.
I dress to the left sometimes. As far as that, so that to a sensible, normal person, you would be like, this is racism. And then I would be like, whoa, this is not a normal instance. But in fact, we both hate the end result or that person. It's just so ridiculous that it feeds into your worry about that or someone's worry about that, because a normal person who's going to assess it is like, dude, this isn't like a thing. Like this isn't, but then you can draw those lines and then it's just maddening.
You look at this and you say, I'm not crazy.
Right. There it is. There it is, because you get a peek inside the window. Because
but you can see why other people be like, well, hey, they ain't me. You know what I mean? Where it's like, no, this is a unique, crappy situation.
But I think, though, it speaks to what everyone has been saying for a long time, whether it's...
Real quick.
Okay.
Just, it is unique in a way that the investigation has brought to light this.
Yes.
But this is not common with the general population, I would say.
In looking at the documents yesterday and some of the interaction, one person asked, am I going to get is this going to come back to haunt me?
Right.
And
While they wait,
I'm paraphrasing.
when they
and
were engaging in the
while
activities,
bribing and
not
whatever.
yesterday. Okay, got
Yeah,
it.
and so I think the response was, and I'm paraphrasing the response from the document. Oh, it's been working for 24 years.
Right.
So
Yeah.
But and that I think it also again
it's unique that we know now how it gets
Right,
done. I guess.
right, right.
and I think when people talk about things like social injustice or racial inequality or just again classism, when we have these conversations, oftentimes the other argument is that you guys are reading too much into it. It's not really like that. That's just liberal propaganda. And then we see this live and in living
now-
Can it be
color.
both?
This
Can it be both?
There are examples where there can be, but I'm
here's the
saying in
thing,
general,
this
though.
poisons the well for 10 years now.
Well, but I think it also
Yeah,
validates the argument that people have been making for years that the system is
Yeah.
absolutely rigged. And so when people say, well, maybe blacks and browns and women need to work harder to get to these positions, and the entire
Well, they
time
should.
it's bullshit because we're seeing people who are just writing blank checks and they're there for that reason. And they become gatekeepers. They are the people who decide if you go to this law firm, if you're able to work at this studio. And so you ask yourself, well, why aren't minority number? Why aren't there more women? Why aren't there more people of color? And you have to look at these type of situations and say, well, here's one big reason. Because it's been set up to not only give advantages to the elite, but then at the same time, backhand those who are truly working their ass off to get to a point
You know
in their
what
life.
broke my heart in reading stuff about this entire thing?
Not one of them came from a Gold Star
Oh,
Blue
boy,
Ribbon
here we
High
go.
School.
Here we
That's for
go.
sure.
No
We earned
Farmington.
ours.
Not
That's
Farming.
very
No
true.
Farmingtonians
Farmingtonians
involved.
in the story. Good
That's right.
point.
I wonder if there's ever been anybody from Farmington that went to USC.
I have been.
Somebody.
I have been calling for rich white old men to get better at one thing in America,
Oh,
and this truly
Covering
could make
things up.
America great again.
Oh God.
Where there's a place where we have gone wrong. We used to be great sailors. Used to be.
This is what this, is the
about
problem.
this is about the Americans.
We've
Cup.
had a hollow.
This is all.
They got the Stanford sailing coach caught up in all of this.
This has been a hollow. It's been hollow in the recruits going into the sailing programs. Did you see
This is why even the United States team
Very true. This is a good point.
that is docked in San
you-
Francisco, even though they did make a great historic comeback several years back.
The French have been
greatest
kicking our
comeback
ass.
in the history. They got a Kiwi, that's the skipper. And that's the American team.
Oh boy.
We got a New Zealand guy.
That's not.
Now, I
good.
love Jimmy Spithill.
No, here we go.
But what has happened?
What has happened?
What has happened to America where we can no longer sail our own
That's a good
and
point.
win the America's Cup? You know why? Because rich, white, old men got lazy and bought yachts. They don't know how to sail anymore.
I tell you what. Put that on. A
Ted
t-shirt.
Turner sailed. I don't like him necessarily, but he sailed.
Hey, put that on a T-shirt. That's a social cause.
And then you know what? So this makes it even more of a wider scandal because they got the Stanford sailing coach caught. You got the lacrosse people caught up. You got tennis. You got crew.
Damn.
What the hell?
Country club sports are taking a big hit.
Yes.
It's a tough day. Tough
You know
day
you know what this is
Is
like.
there golf involved? I didn't even see. I don't know if
wouldn't
golf
doubt
is
it.
involved.
Golf is a little bit difficult because it's a tell. Like, hey man, you don't need to be.
No,
out there.
everybody plays golf
That's
though.
very
Anybody.
true. But it's a fun.
Here's a question, real
Okay,
quick,
we got a
from
question?
Facebook,
Okay.
from Black Sheep. Why were these people so eager to move to Columbia, South Carolina?
Absolutely. The girl literally, Felicity Huffman's daughter on her YouTube channel, literally said, I just want to go there for the football game day experience, the parties, and as you all know, I really don't care about school. She said that almost verbatim on her YouTube page. So, like, the thing that's going to probably be more heartbreaking for these parents that these kids are ultimately, because they were spoiled, arrogant brats, are going to get their parents not only in trouble with they're going to spend time in prison because you're just an idiot about it.
Yeah, and it's so
Which technically is karma. It makes sense because if you raise a spoiled ass brat, for that to come back on you, that's just.
These could be, the kids could be good kids. Who knows? But
No, she's a spoiled brat. We're going to go with spoiled brat.
Okay.
That's better for the narrative.
how about this? How about friend of the show from the Daily Show, Michael Costa, at Michael Costa on Twitter. Gardner, did you pull these or no? Oh, you want me to just read them? I got a couple tweets from Costa.
You can do Costa's tweets. I don't have those.
Cool.
I have some other ones.
Oh, nice. So Michael Costa, professional tennis player,
Went
and
to
University of Illinois. Oh, you want to talk about tough schools to get into? Mizzou benefits from Illinois being so difficult to get into.
Hey man, it ain't
Do you
that
know their
easy to get
business
into
school?
Mizzou, man.
Like
Calm
you
down,
can't.
bro.
I can tell you 10 super smart people that couldn't get into Illinois that came to Mizzou, and like that was their second or third choice. Like it's crazy. Either way, so Costa knows a little bit about this. Due to garbage NCAA Title IX implementation, women's crew has way too many scholarships. So it's common if you say you row, you'll get into university and off on a scholarship.
Oh, wow.
Even if you have never done it. Let's hope that ends now.
Oh wow.
That's interesting. That's an interesting effect of, hey, let's do something that's...
But talk about
Which
scamming
once
system.
again made me question how I got into Lindenwood because
Well, Lindenwood also had a cattle trade program up until like the early 2000s.
Got a good shooting
I think
team
so.
there.
How about this? One more from Michael Costa. Pro tip. This is my favorite. If you want to get into any college you want, just become a world-class tennis player because that's what I did. Simple, right?
Very, very simple.
Yeah.
Very easy. But again, that part I didn't realize. And again, this is again one of those things where
Well, it just shows when things go unchecked, by the way.
certainly, but I'm not gonna lie. My black ass mama would have signed me up for row
We
if
all
it knew
would've.
that we would have an opportunity to get a free ride at
Gardner-
a major university.
Gardner literally did it.
Sorry,
And a
Gardner.
tennis god.
yeah.
But and that's
You
fascinating.
realize I was coming from St. Charles Community College?
But that's a good point. This is all.
I took a
starting to-
class at Forest Park
This
Community
is quickly
College.
going sideways against you, my friend. Why are you not in this report?
Oh,
That dream
Dream
team
team,
coming in
yeah.
handy. Yep, that dream
It's
team of
revealed that
lawyers. That's
Garrigus-
interesting.
Well, you have to
Garrigus has
pay-
been representing Gardner the whole time.
you have to pay the people off that you were going to go to school for, and then you have to pay your attorneys to take care of that.
So what are the other tweets you have?
Okay, I got some stuff here for you guys.
And a quick reminder, too, fair or foul today, send it to WAL at weareliveradio.com. You can win $10 to Southtown Pub. You can use that tomorrow night. Travis will be there. Great lineup for comedy, 8 o'clock. Jovan Bibbs headlining. He's been in New York for the last few years, so we're very pleased to have Jovan back in St. Louis. Obviously, Carly Lawrence, Matt Wayman, John Venegoni, all very funny. Join us tomorrow night, Southtown Pub, 8 p.m., free comedy Thursday.
All right, the first one I got for you, Ben Dreyfuss, the son of Richard Dreyfuss, saying,
Oh,
I
this
got
is
into
good.
college the old-fashioned way by letting my father's celebrity speak for itself.
Which is hilarious, but also the point. That's the point. You're a Dreyfus. You are a Washington. You are a Pacino.
Terrell.
Like you get in because
Who's
that's
Washington?
a Denzel.
Oh,
But I'm saying is, and
son-
I'm not
his
saying that's
son go
how
to
his son.
Lindenwood?
No, I'm not saying that those people got into any university or got far because of their last name. But the idea is that because of who your father or mother is, you get into these universities. So the idea of you having to then pay money to convince admissions to get inside the university again illustrates how mediocre either your name is or your child is.
Right. It's a good point. What about, did you grab the Jason Isbell tweet?
no, I did
What
not.
was
We
Jason
got
Isbell
a double up here.
I
So-
generally don't care for the Jason Isabel. You guys often bring him up on the show.
Who?
Isabel? Isabel?
He says his name Isbell, and
don't
I
believe him. I think he's
I always
swearing.
want to say Isabel. From Jason Isbell, this is a double whammy. What about if my friend President Lincoln gives you a letter of recommendation on behalf of my daughter? Slides a $5 bill across the desk of Tim Yale.
Well done.
That's a double dip.
That is a double dip.
That's what happened. You know, Gardner, that guy's been sober for a while. That's what happens when you have that much awareness.
That's pretty good.
Here's a few others as well. This is from Ken Olin. It's really disappointing that someone from Full House was arrested and not someone from the White House. Getting political with it.
Nice.
George Wallace.
The great George Wallace.
There you go. Over the last 18 months, I paid over $44,000 in bribes to get my niece Tay-Tay into clown college. I apologize to my fans, and I would appreciate privacy during this difficult time. He goes on to say, real talk. I also paid a Florida man to take Tay-Tay's juggling test for her. I feel awful, but she brings so much else to the table with her squirting flowers and oversized shoes and whatnot.
George Wallace. Still got it.
Friend of the show, Chris Davis, said, Twitter account idea. Collect some of the best operation names. A favorite from my childhood, corruption allegations at the Tennessee State Capitol. Operation Tennessee Waltz. Now, this is stemming from, we haven't touched on this
Yeah.
yet.
Let's talk about
man.
this.
It's called Operation Varsity Blues is what the name of this operation was.
I'm actually angry about this. The whipped cream bikini played a very big role
Very
in
true.
in my growth as an
Holla at
adolescent.
your boy. I will say, man, it's really hard to give federal police any credit for anything, but someone in that office did their job
Yeah,
that day.
it's great.
Someone came in
great.
and was like, boys, sit down. We got a game changer. Operation Varsity Blues.
I
What
like
if-
thinking he literally watched the episode of The Office where they were watching Varsity Blues, and
Yes.
he was supposed to come up with a sting name for
He's
the
like,
last
ooh,
2 weeks.
ooh, when does that do?
And he's like,
This is
Varsity
how I
Blues.
believe it now. This is what I truly
next
believe.
one will be American Pie.
I don't care what actual facts or
Or the
evidence you
dairy
bring my
industry.
way that can prove this line of thinking wrong. But this is what I truly believe now after just listening to you for a second there, Travis. They weren't really going to investigate anything with this, and then until some FBI agent jokingly said, "Oh, we could call this one Operation Varsity Blues," and the guys in the office were like,
Oh, well, we gotta.
"Well, now we got to
We
investigate."
gotta investigate now.
Wait,
Because you got a great name. That's how they determine which investigations
Yes.
will go.
Young investigator in the corner. Hey, is that teacher going to be there?
But to a point, it was a similar tweet that was sent out yesterday. What's going to happen in 5 years? Adam McKay is just going to take this story, and that's
Make it
how
the
we're
best
gonna
movie
live.
we've ever seen.
And that's what the origin story is going to be. A guy who's just like, oh shoot, when does that due? The director's coming in 5 minutes. Fuck.
It'll be a path to
Operation
redemption.
Varsity Blues.
It'll be a path to redemption for the celebs that were locked up because they'll be out, and then we can rehabilitate them back into.
Yeah, they'll
into
be in the
pop
movie.
culture, yeah.
They're going to be in the movie. A quick thing on Chris's tweet. It did have me thinking, I need to come up with an operation name for the city-county merger. at
Okay,
some
what do you
point.
come up with?
I don't know yet.
You don't know yet?
But we need to workshop Thought Shower,
Thought
if you will.
shower, sure.
Thought Shower some stuff probably going forward. I did have one other tweet, and this is in relation to the Operation
Oh, this is so good.
Varsity Blues.
This is so
Oh, boy,
good.
what is this? I haven't seen this.
It's from James Vanderbeek.
Oh, my
Oh, of
gosh,
course. What
yes.
did
If only there was a succinct turn of phrase these kids could have used to inform their parents they were not desirous.
Yes, this is the
Of their
best
life
tweet
path.
ever. Yes, James Vanderbeek just
you
won
haven't-
2019.
if
He
you
won
haven't-
2019. I did not know that was a tweet.
Yes.
Oh, he won
That
2019.
is so good.
Chris, I'm gonna leave the stage to you because you're
All
my
right,
good friend.
You're my dad. Tell me that I need to get my nose out of the books and my ass on the field.
You need to get your nose out of those damn books and get your ass back on the field.
I don't want your life.
There it is. Give him the Academy Award right the hell now. James Vanderbeek
I
really
can't
just
do a
won the
Texas
entire.
accent. Was that believable enough?
That was not bad.
I don't want your life.
That is fast. Oh my goodness, James Vanderbeek
Now
just
yell
won
fire.
the year.
Now yell fire that pigskin.
Fire that pigskin.
Break your nose.
But
Actually, the way the old shoulder acts up these days, it kind of just glaze you.
but do you want? And here's the thing, and I don't want to pile on, but they're rich and they're
I
white,
don't
so
want your life.
I'm gonna pile on because they'll be okay. But you're now the girl who.
Dude, your mom has to go to
Your
prison
mom
now?
has to go to prison.
Your
you know how
mom.
difficult it's going. So now, not only are
Celebrity
your
or not,
friends
that's
and
your
neighbors,
mom.
not only your friends and neighbors are essentially saying because your dumb ass couldn't get into a regular school, your mama about to go to prison, and you have to
Hang on,
walk
hang on.
around Hollywood. You can't go to parties. You can't go to runway shows. You can't do anything in elitist Hollywood now because you're the dumbass kid who in a
What if she
scam
has
that
to
was
go to
going.
San Quentin? Like, that's a...
But here's the thing. As to Gardner's point, the scam's been going on for at least, from what we hear from the tapes, 24 plus years. And you're the dumbass kid that blew up the system. Your stupidity, your inability to go to class and just do the bare minimum is literally sending your mom to jail.
But see, this
That's
is why,
hilarious to me.
This is why I want to know what they were originally investigating.
Okay, so Travis,
That's a good point.
you be a scam recruiter, and you're from USC, and you're telling my mom, I'll be my mom.
Okay.
And with an appearance by my grandma.
Nice.
You say, Ms. Denman, for $150,000, Chris will be accepted in the USC Film School.
Ms. Denman, we were reviewing your child's
hi.
transcript. Hi, it's good to see you. You look good, Joni. It's great to see you again.
Oh, thanks. I know.
But we were looking at Chris's grades.
He used to be really smart.
Well, he's rounding up to about a 1.5,
All
1.6.
all A's till 6th grade.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. The last 6 years of his life, he's done absolutely nothing.
My baby.
So the price has gone up because it's going to take a lot of people.
Have you seen him dunk a basketball?
You can't do that forever.
Need 6'3" white post player?
I'm telling you now that USC basketball is taken seriously. So to get him on that squad is not possible. But what we can do...
Is there a horse riding team?
No, we do not have pummel horses.
Pommel.
Okay, whatever, ma'am. I don't know where you from. But the fact is, the rate's $150.
Oh, I got cash, $150.
No, ma'am. It is 6 figures, $150,000. That's how...
Oh, hang on. Let me talk to my mother. She's my financial professional. He'll be working at the prison.
$500,000.
See.
$500,000. Forego classes. Just give my child a degree right there. If I'm paying $500,000, my child should not have to go to one class. She can sit her dumb ass at home. Just make sure in 4 years she has the degree.
I'm buying them an Orange Theory fitness franchise, and I said, I don't care. I don't care what you want to be.
That's true.
You're now a fitness studio general manager.
Yeah, that works as well.
This is a sound business plan, and we're going to make it work. And it's ridiculous.
And I think ultimately it also just shows the laziness as well. In that, to everyone's point, and everyone's made it online and on this show, like, kind of just do the bare minimum and skate by like every other rich white person in America.
How about do the respectable thing and send them to Arizona State?
There it is.
Like, what's it?
That too. That works as well. You're right.
You know they're going to party their ass off.
I have a friend who was very successful. He's retired now. He was very successful in life, going to Arizona State. He went there after he got kicked out of Washington. I mean, that's where you go after.
And to your point, Chris, what they're going to do, they're going to drive home to LA anyway every weekend. So what difference does it make? Like, it's a very odd story. And
you're telling me San Diego State ain't letting your kid in? They'll be royalty and live on the beach.
But I think
just go to Pepperdine. It's in Malibu.
Yes, it's literally on a beach.
Just go to Pepperdine.
But to your point, Gardner, to put a bow on
Sarah Lawrence.
It's
like a really small women's private liberal arts institution.
But
I don't know why I know what that is.
You were paying to keep your kids a part of a very important elite circle. You knew that in order to continue your legacy and even your place in Hollywood,
or your perceived legacy, because obviously they don't have the legacy.
Right, exactly. If that was the case, they had a serious legacy, they wouldn't have had to fork over $500,000. But to that point, it was a matter of keeping your kid and your family a part of that system. And again, this all can be connected to what we've seen over the last year and a half to every major story that's almost come out of Hollywood, whether it's the Harvey Weinsteins and the sex scandals and the lack of people of color in these writers' rooms. Like, it all connects because you see that there is indeed a rigged system. So when you hear someone say, anyone like me or Gardner or a woman, whomever, say that something's not right, everything's not on the up and up, it would probably do you justice to not roll your eyes, to not just blow them off, not to just shrug your shoulder, because a lot of these people have been saying these kind of things for years, and now it has taken the FBI bringing down 50-plus people to make you understand that, oh, right, oh, yeah, this thing is a setup.
How did I get grouped in there?
I just felt like you're long.
You said a person of color, Gardner, or a woman. Did you? Am I a minority? I'm not aware of this?
You're your own group? You're a guy.
Travis has slowly changed the entire show into just 3 black dudes hanging out.
Basically.
Remember, I've decided for argument points.
If you're going to classify me as a minority, I will take advantage of this.
That's why I built.
You're a system guy.
But also, this is also just completely and I think you basically made the point, college is absolutely a freaking scam.
Yeah.
It's a scam.
Seriously,
this is a major. It's really
I see
colleges. I know people who take advantage and go on to have great and successful careers because of what they learned or what they were able to attain while in college.
How would that be a scam then?
But I'm saying, as far as entrance, as far as
getting in,
available and accessible to everybody,
people
it should be
go to
accessible.
College, a traditional 4-year college. Should not. At the time,
absolutely.
At 18, they should go work, they should go pick up a trade, and then if they want to pick up some kind of education to further
Their
career
craft,
they've
exactly.
chose. I get that. I totally get it. Because,
right.
listen, you want to get into higher level business things or something. Yes, an MBA is going to give you an advantage over others. If you want to be an engineer, there are very specific things you need to know.
Absolutely.
I also have a friend who is only skyrocketed up his profession, who basically hires engineers and is above them, and went to Vatterott for 2 years. And took some continuing education courses.
And to
like
that,
there's just a million different ways,
Right.
and we're stuck on it for good reason. It's the best 4 years you could potentially ever have.
but as far as
that's-
cost and accessibility,
No.
it is a major scam. It is absolutely because
cost is.
it's
I lucked out. I
Unbelievable.
really did luck out in terms of what my school loans were, especially considering my lack of participation
there we go
in the university
There it is.
for periods of time.
But that's the thing. That's
I lucked out in terms of not having a lot of school loans when it all was said and done. I was able to keep gathering money from them somehow.
right.
good
Now
for
that's
you.
on them. I put that on them.
We're
going
going
to
to open up an
for
investigation
doing
about
that.
your time on the Lindenwood tennis
Yeah, I
team.
think that's going to happen. We're definitely doing a 30 for 30. on
No,
your life
I
on
want to
those
see
ones.
who's paying what money to get their kids into CBC, Chaminade, MICDS,
Would you-
John Burroughs.
There's no doubt, and I'm not saying that.
I'm
it's-
coming for you.
Oh,
Every
boy, here we
major
go.
private
no,
school
no,
in
no,
St.
no,
Louis.
no, we're not.
Expect to post
No,
it
no,
on
no,
your
no, you won't.
school property.
Chris
All the-
Gardner is an independent
Thank
contractor,
you.
not an employee of
Thank
Midcoast
you.
Media.
Yes, thank
I'd like
you.
to state that
That
to
makes
all.
me even more dangerous.
Oh God!
Do you
oh
want
God!
an employee just coming to your place, or do you want somebody they call an independent contractor?
That is way more ominous.
That is
The doorman is coming,
oh
Ooh,
God!
the
This is
doorman
not good.
cometh.
and it's time to
Oh no! Here we go.
shut the
I
door
knew it.
on your scandals.
How about some comments before we go to the break?
That felt good.
From Beebs, all the way from England, I believe. I
Oh,
didn't pay for admissions for college, but then again, we call it university. It's called Great Britain for a reason, y'all. That's just rude.
Somebody go to your dumbass.
He's
school.
privileged just because of his accent.
That's
Yeah.
also a good point.
Our buddy Jeff, I had to perform random acts of kindness on the president of the community college's gonads to get it. Once I got that association's degree, the world sure opened up.
It's and again, it's a pain in the ass for anyone who's ever gone through the admission process and who's ever had to sit in a cashier's office and you're discussing student loans and scholarships and money and how you're going to pay for things and whether or not you belong there. It is the most grueling and oftentimes humiliating experience to be in. And so to see that now we know for sure documented cases of people absolutely just going above that system, that people, again, the experience of going through that personally is just, it's a lot. You're trying to balance 15 to 18 hours. You're doing your best to adjust to the
12.
culture.
I was
12.
lazy.
But you're doing your
I
best to
readily
go
admit
through
it.
that. But you're doing all this. You're trying to get into these groups because you're going to need it to bump up your resume. And you're trying to do these internships because you're going to need the experience when you graduate. And you're doing all of this. And there's a large group of people at the university that you attend who don't give a shit about any of that. And the only reason why they're there is because their parents happily wrote a 6-figure check to someone in the admissions office. That's why for most people, not everyone, this story caused some outrage because it is truly a pain in the ass when you go through it when you're a regular person.
And now I have to ask my grandma if she paid for me to get a tennis scholarship at Lindenwood.
Because I've seen your Western forehand, and it is not impressive.
It's not that good.
No, I can't even top spin anymore, I don't think. I'll probably have to kind of fade it a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe slice it a little bit.
Guessing your lateral movement not the best.
I remember playing tennis. Never
We'll
mind.
get into that next hour.
Yeah, after college I played some. I'll just say you could end up in the hospital
Oh,
almost if you try to play in the morning when it's 100 degrees and you're still drunk from the night before.
That'll do it.
It's not good.
We've got Dr. Ed coming in next hour for some Dogs on Film presented by Hillside Animal Hospital. Quick, I'll tell you about Gateway Powder Coating before we go to break. They are online at gatewaypowdercoat.com. It's almost springtime. The weather's getting better. You need to take care of your patio furniture. If you check out their Facebook page, they've got a bunch of cool furniture they've already done work on, getting them ready. making them bright, making them last long. That's right, Gateway Powder Coating, fast, durable, affordable. Check them out online, gatewaypowdercoat.com. Go say hello to Mark and the guys out at Gateway Powder Coating. Quick break on We Are Live. Great first hour. Thank you for all of the Facebook Live comments, all that good stuff. Get those fair fouls in. We'll be right back.